Oh my gosh. Nexon cancels normie streamers, an epic gatekeeping win. Here's my lukewarm take to show that I'm in support of this, despite not actually playing the game myself. Okay, I just want to comment on this really quick. So the story goes, on the official Blue Archive ENX account, they announced some sponsored streams with some normie streamers. The immediate reaction from the community was negative, and within a day they deleted the tweet and said, "Oh, okay, never mind then," and canceled it. That's the whole story. So the news video ends there. Now it's time for some spicy takes. So first of all, this is really funny. I mean, the immediate turnaround is crazy. I almost feel like we've done something dirty, like we committed a crime. Like what? The devs actually immediately listened to the players and immediate turnaround, like absolutely no delay? Is that allowed? I do wonder if this will cause hate anyway though, if these streamers or if their fans get salty over it. So my immediate reaction to reading the sponsored stream announcement, I think I was in bed doom scrolling and I saw it and I thought, and I closed Twitter. So not a good reaction. And the reason I felt like that was because I was thinking, who are these normies? None of these people are publicly loyal fans of the game like Mint, Yumi, or Remy. And I realize all of those are women, but there's probably a guy out there who qualifies too. Probably. That was just my initial reaction, but here's the thing. I really like Blue Archive and I want it to keep going. And not just going, but growing. I don't just mean more banners until the end of time. I mean, like, maybe we could get another game out of this franchise, like Arknight's Enfield. Maybe get some new seasons of the anime. Maybe get a chance to prove my lore theories correct with some story volumes. So even though I'd love to see some of the loyal streamers get officially promoted, I understand that for the game to grow, paying people who willingly stream the game already doesn't really do anything. It's paying bigger people to shill it that makes the difference in exposure. And I have a personal interest in prolonging this game, so it's not actually the game being exposed to more people that I have an issue with. It's the choice of people. I don't want these fucking normies stinking up my community. Just kidding, that's actually not my issue either. I don't actually know much about these people, and I'm not crazy enough to have a predisposed hate boner for these people I know nothing about. Okay, well maybe I kinda did, but I thought about it a bit more before getting angry on the internet. People were claiming they called BA fans pedos, but I saw no evidence of this. So I'm thinking that that claim is probably just a brain virus that caught on, because it seems like something normies would do. On the contrary, I saw this gracious tweet from Zentreya, lamenting but understanding the decision. So even though at first glance, she appears to me like a dime a dozen overly sexual mommy VTuber with comically large balloons on her chest, she actually wins me over with this one. On to the next 3 people on this list who are connected through the Trash Taste podcast. Uh-oh, who's that? Who's that on your podcast there? Is that famous racist communist dog abuser Hassan Piker? Yep, this is why people don't like the rest of these choices. Not just because they did a podcast with Hassan Piker, but because they're generally associated with the normie Twitch elite of psychopaths who constantly pat each other on the back. That could be completely wrong. Maybe they're not like that at all. But most people don't really care. That's the circle they're with. And I have a real job to get to in the morning, so I'm just not going to spend any more of my time investigating the political opinions of a bunch of elite streamers. Because we already know the general temperance of the Twitch elite and their fandoms. They usually don't get along with the moe-interested, VTuber, vaguely otaku type online fandoms. You know, all the edgy Southeast Asians and South Americans we have. They just don't get along with these people. But what if the Twitter backlash was misguided? What if these people actually would have been useful to Blue Archive? Well, Iron Mouse doesn't seem like a bad person, and neither does this guy whose name I don't want to say because it kind of sounds like a bad word. Blue Archive is a good game for good people and bad people. So if they're actually good people, they probably actually really like the game. But this guy, I don't know, he gives me total closet Leninist Twitch streamer vibes. Like total elitist goes to bougie parties with all the rich e-celebs, but looks down on lower class people when they disagree with them politically. Am I schizo posting? Yeah. I'm making unsubstantiated claims based on my limited knowledge of someone I don't know. However, this is a widely identified type of person. Every year, these rich cultural Californians get together and jerk each other off on the Streamer Awards, and everyone hates it. From what I can tell, even Sea-Dog's own fans hate it. Regardless, they seem to come from what's usually called the normie side of Twitch. Inaccurate as the label may truly be, and when a Blue Archive player, or at least someone who claims to be a player, but probably only likes the porn, sees one of these people, they're probably thinking, oh, this person probably hates me. And on Twitch, they'd probably be right. So if that's the crowd he's associated with, and if that stream were to go forward, would it really be anything more than a paycheck for him while his whole chat shits on the game constantly? That's what I would imagine. However, if you notice, the Iron Mouse and Sea Dog streams were actually scheduled for the same time. It's possible that this was actually going to be a duo stream where Iron Mouse was going to introduce Sea Dog to the game, and she'd probably keep him on a leash the entire time. So I don't think he'd shit on it too hard, assuming Iron Mouse is someone who genuinely likes the game, which I think she is. I actually did see a clip of Sea Dog being shown in Edo Manga Sensei figure on the Trash Taste podcast, and appearing disgusted. This is probably how the Blue Archive stream would go, although to a much lesser extent, since it'd be a sponsored stream. The thing is though, there's appeal to this. This is like that moment when you and your weeb friend expose your more normie friend to some raunchy media to get a reaction. It's funny. And if Iron Mouse is able to show him how good the game actually is, and if he keeps the hate in check in his chat, then maybe... Nah, I'm totally expecting that eventually there would be a meltdown when his community, or maybe even people claiming to be Blue Archive fans, attack him over it. And he'd probably cave and say something he shouldn't about the community, like throw them under the bus, to protect his own image. Even if you like Sea Dog, I just don't trust that some kind of shit wouldn't be stirred up here. But now I want to talk about the blurring of what it means to be a normie. So just scrolling through the Trash Taste podcast page, totally normie coded, right? Well, they talk a lot about modern seasonal anime. Well, I don't even watch current anime like that. I have new shows that I like Goblin Slayer, my beloved fantasy and isekai Slappa. But these guys are actually in there regularly covering all the modern anime airing, and it kind of makes me wonder, like, who's actually the normie here? In my case, if these guys are in the mud talking about anime every single day, I kind of feel like it's me. I'm the outsider. I'm like an old head. I watch fucking 80s anime and shit, and it's these guys who are with the times. And I know this is the case for a lot of Blue Archive fans. There's a lot of us who don't care about modern anime at all. We just like what we like, and we like Blue Archive because, just like Zentreya said in her tweet, it reminds us of anime from the 2010s. So maybe these guys aren't normies, maybe I'm just old, even though they're older than me. I just kinda moved on from being interested in whatever is currently airing. And I know that a lot of Blue Archive players, especially the older ones, are like this as well. I play Blue Archive because it reminds me of the anime that was airing when I was in school, just like Zentreya said in her tweet. There's also a much greater divide nowadays between anime culture and otaku culture, which is what I was always closer to. So I feel like throwing around the normie label is kinda stupid. They're just different fandoms entirely, not like different layers of the same fandom. But yeah, I do think a lot of the modern anime fans probably would hate on Blue Archive just because it has lolis and swimsuits. And I'd rather not deal with those people. And while I doubt that at least 3 of these streamers would do that, I can't say the same for their fans. Just because, you know, they're in the normie Twitch elite circle. Now here's the part of the video that'll get me fucking nuked. Blue Archive isn't just a fan service swimsuit game, so I'm kind of annoyed that they choose now to do a sponsored stream, which is why I'm in favor of canceling this whole promotion. I'd rather not give people the wrong impression about the game, and I don't really see why they feel the need to push the game during a nonsensical fan service event. I get that the rates are boosted right now so they can make a lot of money, and that's great, but fan service is service for the fans. It's actually not for a bunch of people who have never been exposed to the game before. I'd much rather they would have done a sponsored stream like this during any of the main story chapters with an emotional arc so that people could see what actually sets Blue Archive apart from other games on the market, which is the story. Or else, you know, when Mika says she's good at making plans, it's gonna fly over people's heads that Mika's last plan involved killing Seiya, right? So it's like, why are we making people play an event about a bunch of characters they are not familiar with? An event that itself is a sequel to multiple other events. If you're actually trying to build the fan base, like, who's more likely to stick around? Someone who you showed the story to, or someone who just saw Mika's swimsuit and is probably gonna go rub one out really quick before returning to whatever else they were doing? Probably playing Nikkei instead. So when I say I don't want normies being exposed to the game, what I mean is I don't want the game to get slandered as a generic trashy gooner slop, because it's really not. Any insults to me I don't really care about, but it's the game getting trashed on and scoffed at by a bunch of self-righteous moralists that annoys me. But if you're one of those people who would prefer it that way, maybe someone who takes pride in the anti-virtue of gooning, you probably should have been in favor of the streams. To get as many people as possible to see the fan service aspect of the game and filter a large group of people at once, no? And if they start slandering the game online, like, isn't that good for you? Doesn't that actually gatekeep the game for you? I mean, the game gatekeeps itself, right? Isn't that the meme? So just expose as many people as possible to it, and the people who weren't going to like it are going to hate on it regardless. Okay, that's it for this video. See ya!